What is up, YouTube? MCool40 here with
Azneyeswhitedragon, and we are doing the
Top 10?
top 10 plus bonus special edition, where we go over the cards that actually need support. There's so many archetypes that I'm sure a lot of you guys feel like they definitely do need support, and we're gonna go ahead and go over. Now, this is part 2 of the video, so if you guys haven't seen part 1, it'll be linked down below. But anyways,
Yeah,
if you came here from part 1,
it's on.
get ready.
It's on his channel for those of you that haven't watched it yet.
Yes, but let's go ahead and just get started with it.
All right, so we're starting with Clear. All right, if you guys don't know, Azneyeswhitedragon and Clear World, two very weird cards in terms of design. Gaining effects based on light, dark, earth, water, wind, and fire. No divine support though. What you thinking over here? What do you think they need?
Well, okay. I mean, for me, like when I hear like wind, water, fire, earth, there is a very old thing that required. It was like, was it Doriado? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I literally, when you say that, I think of Few Rin Kazin, that trap card that like has to do with like the 4 elements.
Oh, okay. It's Elemental Mistress Doriado, so it has. It's like treated as like all of them, and I felt like it would be really cool if like you controlled like. Like this one has different effects depending on what you have, but I think that it should say like if you control like all of the elements, which you technically can't do because you only have 5 zones. But remember, guys, link monsters then actually act as another monster zone technically, so you could then mix in Clear World potentially in the future if they may ever make like a Clear World thing where it's like you now have all the elements, you win the duel or something. I don't know. I think that would be kind of interesting just because. It has different effects depending on what you would have, but you can never have 6 monsters.
It was a very undersupported archetype, and it's definitely interesting that the Clear Azneyeswhitedragon isn't a divine monster; that it's actually dark. So it's something fun.
Well, I think it's what I find funny though is that it looks really cool too, and they were like, oh, just one Clear Vice, forget about them. Like that is kind of sad because. I feel like
I thought there
I
thought there were more clear monsters in the show, but I don't think we got them.
Ah, I gotcha.
But that ties us into the next thing here, the Time Lords. There are like 10 different Time Lords in the show, and for some reason we've only received Cephalion and Medion. And of course Cephalion does not do anything near what Medion does.
Well, okay, well, did you also put Necrolancer in? Because, okay, looking at him, is he like the face? Because the face is kind of green. I don't know if he becomes that. Like, is he the center?
I don't think so.
Like, is it a Gundam?
No, it's not a Gundam. Basically, the face is... It's kind of like, in 5Ds, it had something to do with, like, human emotions and things like that. So, you have happy and old and stuff like that. I think it also had to do with, like, the Tree of Life.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, well... They definitely need more cards, and they got 2.
Yeah, because
you might argue 3, but it's pretty much 2.
There's so many of them from the show that did so much with recursion and things like Medion that it's just a shame that we really don't have more of that support, you know?
Mm-hmm. And Cephalon has been in a lot of decks that have actually won. It was in Shadal's, it was in Lightsworn, like a lot of like decks just ran like either one, either Cephalon or Medion. They were definitely cards.
Cephalion was a really cool card before that grass looks greener, but I feel like this is a bots monster that could be explored a lot more. You know?
Oh yeah, I remember getting out the Hyperion. I think you get with him, or Christia.
It was Christia all the way.
It was pretty good. But next archetype
are Iron Chains. I'll leave this one to you.
What oh yes, because I am a master Iron Chain player. But no, really, I don't know this archetype very well, other than like it's a cheesy kind of a deck. Now, Iron Chain Dragon did see some play in some people's extra deck just because it was like it was 6. I couldn't afford no Goyo Guardian, so you're like, okay, well, I guess I'll throw in the Iron Chain Dragon.
2,500 attack points is very intimidating.
No, Gaia the Swift Knight was where it was at.
You're right.
All right.
Poison Chain.
Like what?
God, this...
Wait, was it Gaia the Swift Knight? What was the Gaia card? There was a Gaia card.
Oh, the level 6 one. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was way better because he had 100 more attack. Although the Iron Chain one had an effect where you move and play all Iron Chain monsters in your graveyard and it gains 200 attack, but no one played Iron Chains. And sending 3 cards from your opponent's deck to the graveyard usually wasn't like bad.
It really was. Being able to mill out resources was one of the main reasons why he saw play. But this whole archetype seems like it focuses on inflicting damage and making monsters losing attack. And as you said before, Iron Chain mills out cards. I think even Poison Chain. Yeah, Poison Chain makes your opponent mill. So for the potential of a mill strategy, you would definitely need a little bit more for this. I don't know what, but...
Well, I think that, like I said, like people had these in their extra decks, but like Gaia the Swift Knight was way better, and he was like 25 cents as well. But I guess people were like, I want to mix up my extra deck and have options. But then you realized, having two Gaias was better, and then you threw this card in the trash. But for real, so the Iron Chain could definitely use way more support because the artwork on them is kind of cool. Like they all have the scene where they have, of course, the iron chains around them. I think that what would be cool is somehow to lock your opponent out of certain things with the chains. Like one of the chains would be like one of the cards, like, I don't think Fiendish Chain has any relation to them, but like, how it locks down the opponent's monster from attacking or something. I feel like that's what the Iron Chain should have actually done instead of, you can send an Iron Chain monster to burn your opponent. Like who wants to go -1 for only 800 points of damage? Like, it's just not worth it. I know you can banish them later for another bonus effect, but for the most part, I don't think losing that much attack, like the other one makes it lose 800, the Iron Chain Snake, it's just not that good.
But you can inflict 800 damage with Iron Chain Blaster, man.
But like, you know what would be cool? I think that their monsters need to like chain and hold the monsters down somehow. Like maybe a hand trap for the Iron Chain that would be like if your opponent controls an Iron Chain monster, or I'm sorry, if you control an Iron Chain monster, you're able to use the chain. Like the chain can't be used unless your opponent has one. Maybe an equip. Like you have an Iron Chain monster, and it would just be called the Iron Chain, and it just gets equipped to them. And when they have the Iron Chain, they have an effect. So basically, thinking of like Geminis. How like you have to summon them twice, how you can equip certain things to make it so they would gain their effects. The Iron Chains would be useless without the Iron Chain. Like I don't know if you want to call it.
So I feel like you're gonna have to Monarch support this and just give them more, right?
Yeah, you need to really revamp up the archetype. The archetype can't really function like realistically. You know what I mean? Like unless like all the cards that you discard give you like extra resources, the deck can't really function. But I don't know. Do you think that's a cool idea? Where like you give him the Iron
like
Chain.
the concept of a field spell that acts like that.
Okay, yeah, field spell or an equip card. I think that, either one. A field spell probably much better because you can search it with terraforming.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Next up on our list of things are the bouncers. I know you wanted to talk about this one a little bit.
Well, yeah, there is one bouncer that like people actually know, which is Photon Strike bouncer. But like, what about the other bouncers that were used? Well, they were supposed to be used to make them, but like no one ever did.
Hammer Bouncer and Phantom Bouncer were used. Blade Bouncer
really? Okay, this is new game breaking news to me. Okay, so how are they used?
I don't. They're from the show. That's all I know. If this card on
the they were used from the show. Okay, I thought. Okay, we're talking about they were used in the show. Or
I don't know, but Phantom Bouncer was pretty good though. If this card on the field is destroyed, you can add up to 2 Bouncer cards from your deck to your hand.
Yeah, but how many Bouncer cards are there?
Well, there's Hammer Bouncer, Blade Bouncer, and Bouncer Guard.
There is. Wait, is it Bouncer card or is it monster?
Bouncer card.
You can add the trap card.
Yeah.
It can't be just targeted by other card effects or to be destroyed by battle.
This turn, if opponent's monster attacks, it must target that monster.
It's not that great.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's not that great. It even if you added like two copies of like Bouncer, like there's not enough Bouncers.
Hammer Bouncer can be special summoned for hand without tribute. This card attacks opponent's monster as long as you control no spell trap card. Your opponent, it gets the Ancient Gear effect. That's adorable.
That's I think, but like, you still have to. If it was you could special summon this card, I would say, hey, it's not too bad. Throw in my heretic deck, but like, for the most part,
this was just a 4-card archetype that was really cute for Photon Strike Bouncer himself.
Strike Bouncer was the only like card that ever saw any play.
Well, of course, because Bouncer was good.
Yeah,
I don't know. A couple more named Bouncer cards, maybe another Bouncer Xyz monster wouldn't be terrible, in my opinion. But definitely a Cyber Dragon level 6 would definitely spice things up a little bit. What do you think?
I feel like the archetype is not really determined on what it wants to do. It's another one of those archetypes that's just like, well, what's the goal of the archetype? Like Iron Chain at least had like an idea, but like it wasn't very good. Like this archetype, they didn't even know what the heck they wanted to do with it. Like adding cards is not like a very archetype specific. Like when I talk about archetype specific, I mean like Inferno, you play with no hand. What does the Phantoms do? Like what do the Phantom Bouncers do?
They just want to make Strike Bouncer, man.
I guess like, but there's so many decks that do that better. So I feel like they need to determine what the heck this archetype wants to do. Let's leave it up to the comments. Guys, how would you make this archetype function? Like, what does it do? Does it bounce or something like that? Maybe as soon as you summon them, it has an effect, and then they bounce right back to your hand. And then you get to summon another one if it was bounced back. I don't know. Something that, like, it does something different. Is what
I don't know.
Talk about.
We're teleporting over to parasites now.
Okay, this is actually the thing that I think is the coolest, but it will probably never function.
So Parasite...
first, let's explain what they do.
So Parasite had the ability to burrow into the opponent's deck. When he was drawn, your opponent would special summon him. And the major problem with this, though, was the fact in competitive play, you're going to have opposite sleeves on your deck and things like that. Your opponent can purposely cheat, shuffle it, and things like that. But we don't have a generic large amount of monsters that would just burrow into the deck. Actually, I think Parasite is the only one that burrows into the deck. Looking at...
I think, it's one of the coolest ideas, but I feel like this can't really ever exist, though. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in physical form, because it has such a problem with your opponent having different colored sleeves, different, conditioned sleeves, like, different brand sleeves. Like, there's just too many problems that this card would cause, but I think it's a really cool idea. How would you think that they could fix this?
Well, here's the thing.
Or do you think it's not fixable?
I wouldn't say it's fixable in that regard. I think having more monsters that would burrow into the deck would be a good idea. The problem with Parasite was, one, it was a flip monster. That's automatically terrible by today's competitive standards. And to top things off, it had to be shuffled into the deck in what? Face down,
you get like
or face
one
up.
in 20 or 1 in 30-ish chance.
Yeah, and
the chances weren't too good. And then it came out and it doesn't do anything. Maybe when it comes out, if you automatically won, I consider running it as a cheese. But because it has to, it special summons it to their side of the field and then inflicts 1,000 damage.
And all their monsters on the field become insect monsters. Ooh. Insect barrier.
I mean, you could do some stuff with that. That's interesting, but for the most part, it's not.
It doesn't do what I would expect a Parasite to do. I'd expect to be a crush card when it's
like drain, or just drain their life or drain something, But I think that this could be an archetype that could be explored. But I feel like the problem is that how do you fix the whole your opponent? Obviously has different colored sleeves.
You can make your opponent roll a dice when they withdraw for the turn, and if they roll that number
every time they. Yeah, set the card aside, roll a dice 1 through 6. If they roll like certain integers, then it becomes special summoned. But putting it into the deck, I like the idea. Like, it's so cool. It burrows into the deck. But again, it just probably that playstyle probably can never happen.
Exactly. All right, next up, much like the Bouncers, we're going to be looking at Gearfried. Gearfried was a monster used by Joey in the show. There's just Gearfried, the Iron Knight, Release Restraint, and then Gearfried himself. And you see some variations of him with Phoenix and Light Ray. But he was typically one of the boss monsters that was shown from the anime. And for Gearfried being such a powerful card for his time, he really has such little support for him. And it's a bit annoying seeing, like, Dark Magician has 1 million support cards, but why does Gearfried only have 3? How do you think they fix this?
Well, first off, Dark Magician Girl's hot. That's why they're like, we could definitely make some extra cards in the archetype, and it would sell well. But I don't. Did you have a lot of viewers that asked for like Gearfried decks? But I've had people ask
never had them.
Could you make a Dark Magician deck?
But the thing is,
I just feel like he's not that cool. Like, I've never been a fan of him. Now, Gearfried the Swordmaster has kind of cool artwork, but at the end of the day, if you like, I don't know if he has I don't know if it's a lightsaber or a katana, but if you're interested in that, I'm sure Six Samurais were like a deck for you if you were interested in that. I feel like he's just not cool enough. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Gearfried had his cheese combo with Butterfly Dagger of Elma, but
yeah, that's true. But that card's banned. But
of course it's banned.
At the end of it. Okay, but do you think Butterfly Dagger Elmo, in today's meta, that's just way too good?
Of course.
You really think people would be like, I'm gonna summon my Royal Magical Collaborator, get Gearfried the Iron Knight, and have Royal...
I'm doing that stuff with double summon, man. Like, Gearfried double summon. Whoo! Fucking top deck that.
Well, that would be way better than Zodiacs for sure. So
I mean, if I can open up my what is it, like a 10% chance of opening that up? Like, I'm too good, right?
Well, you have to get Gearfried, Butterfly Dagger, Elma, Royal Magical Library, and double summon. That's 4. I think Exodia is a more consistent deck, mate.
Maybe.
Anyway, on top of that, you'd have to be playing Exodia in the same deck that you can't open up with
Maybe I'm just going to be that good and rip it, man. You never know.
Well, if you have Heart of the Cards, I think you should just go with the Exodia. Like, just drop the Gear Free.
But no, this is a card that, in terms of the anime, should I definitely
it was popular.
It should have gotten more.
Was he popular? Like, okay, I gotcha. Well, next up,
speaking of more Joey stuff,
we got these guys.
Dude, never forget
Never
forget Swamp Battle Guard and Lava Battle Guard. What was this, Joey and Tristan's like pair?
Well, I feel like these are all like beasts that just get.
Why are these things level 5?
Well, so you would use Star Blast to reduce the level. Come on.
Oh man.
Didn't you read the manga? Come on, you call yourself a Yu-Gi-Oh fan? But anyways, yeah, Swamp Battle Guard and Lava Battle Guard, they just gain extra attack for each one of the other ones you control. But first off, they're level 5, so again, you're not going to do the things that you see in like the anime or the hentai games. They're just not going to have that effect where you're going to be able to get out 2 of them like for free. You normal summon them. But I think what this archetype needs is it needs to be able to like have more effects other than boosting attack. But I feel like Six Samurais are like, they're the OG. You got to have a brother on the field to activate these effects or to
you
get.
Literally could just
bonus.
make a spell card that says discard a card, special summon Swamp Battle Guard, Lava Battle Guard from the deck.
Both, but that wouldn't even be that good. Like at that point, I still wouldn't want to play them.
Instant rank 5.
No, I mean, yeah, but would you play it?
I don't know, man.
No, you wouldn't. No. Oh yeah, you'd play it. Yeah.
What if I want to like just summon my Swamp Battle Guard, my Lava Battle Guard though? Like, you can't judge me for that.
Yeah, you enjoy doing that. Well, I win the game, but like I don't think that this archetype is, well. First off, it doesn't really know what it really wants to do, other than I guess increase attack. But increase attack isn't viable in this day and age unless it's like increase attack by 2,000. I mean, like it's got 1,800, and then it's level 5 and 1,550. Oh my gosh, I hate when they make the numbers like this, like 1550. Do you know about, was it Reaper in the Nightmares? Or
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
King Yamakan, who has like 1530 defense or some stuff like that. Like,
there's like I hate
King
that, but I mean
King Yamakai.
What's his name? King Yama?
Yeah, 1530 defense.
Was it and then, King Dash Yama?
No, it's King of, and then
King of.
And,
1530.
And then there's
another card that has like
Barox.
888 Barox?
Yeah, 1380, 1530.
What is this thing? What? Okay, that's. Doesn't Ryukishin have more attack?
I don't know. Reaper of the Cards, 1380, 1930.
Wait, Ryukishin. That's Ryukishin power. Okay, regular Ryukishin has a. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, does it reduce attack when you fusion for it? But apparently, wait, hold on. This is an archetype that needs support too. The Ryukishin, they have 4 cards.
Oh my gosh.
We have discovered, guys, that the Ryukishin is an archetype that has 4 cards. They're not very good. Only one of them has an effect.
He was even decided to be a clown in his time.
Oh, cosplay. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, I guess you learned something new from this. But anyways, let's move on to the next.
We have one last
archetype
thing here. All right, so this is actually one of my favorite archetypes in the game. I wanted to touch on the chessboard archetype, the Archfiends, Shadow Knight, Terror King, and things like that. These guys were based very early. I believe they were from DCR. But they never really got more support. Now this, I think you would have to literally monarch treatment these. You'd have to redo all of them in order to make them good. They all rely on some sort of dice roll in order to gain something, and they all rely on you paying life points, which was really cool for their time. However, this archetype, much as Mr. Slager over here would like to say, they don't really know what they want to do. They have negation, but you're paying.
They want to pay. Oh no! Wait! No! Hold on. Actually, I think we messed up. They actually came back in Cleese. That's where the pay 8 came from. They stole it. They were the OG pay 5.
Yeah, these guys really were. Some of them have higher life points. I thought.
Oh, okay. Do they have a pay 8? Wait, hold on. Okay.
Yeah, Terror King can pay 8.
Oh, wow. We have the original scout. He was the scout. He was the pay 8 before it was cool. But I know someone's going to mention this, though. There is technically other Archfiend cards, like there's the
Oh
Archfiend
yeah,
Emperor and Empress, but they're not the same, though. Like they're different Archfiends. At least the artwork is still dark. Archfiend Empress is pretty hot, though. But at the same time, I think that they're different. Because
yeah.
the other ones were chessboard pieces. And looking at the backgrounds of the other cards, you can see a checkerboard in the older cards, but in the new Archfiends, there's no checkerboard. So I feel like that they weren't supposed to be like together. I feel like they're just different.
It's definitely interesting though, because like I said, like you can definitely overhaul this archetype and make it a lot better. The Terror King himself is really cool in art terms.
Oh, okay. So you know how like we're coming to the Link Summon era where like the placement of the card matters, right?
Yep.
Like how cool would it be if the cards like in that archetype could only attack diagonally, or the horse could attack like up one and to the left two, or
That would
something
be
like
cool.
that, right? See, there's where like you would have to place your cards like properly. That is where I feel like that's a cool mechanic where certain things can
You
only
know,
attack certain
you could
direction.
also make the pawn override the text of "you can play multiples of this card beyond 3." I don't think that's anything that's been explored. In the
Is
game
there
of
any
Yu-Gi-Oh.
card
Nope.
where you can play more than?
Nope. There's none
Huh.
that exist.
But I feel like the pawn might be like a token though. But that would be kind of cool. That's I think that could be saved for another archetype because like I mean the pawn's gonna be trash unless it's a token. I don't feel like that you'd want to play
You could have the
multiple
pawn make
pawns.
more pawns. Essentially.
But how would that be? But would the pawn wouldn't be good. Maybe like a 0/0 token. Maybe a field spell spawns a pawn.
Yeah.
I don't think you should main deck. Okay, but like if it's a pawn, I don't think you'd want to main deck multiple copies of it unless it's like if you control 10 pawns,
forget,
you win the game.
well, no, you forget the pawn
That'd be
always
great.
has the ability to turn into something else, does it not? Or no, I'm thinking of
Wait, in
checkers.
chess?
I'm thinking of checkers.
No,
My
no.
bad.
Oh, that's the wrong game, mate. But in chess though, there is a real way if you get a pawn to the other side, depending on the rule set that you play, you can convert it
Yeah,
into something.
you can also castle.
Uh,
That's a thing too. Not with the pawn, but you know what I mean.
oh, okay. But yeah, I think that would be really cool because you know obviously Link Summon is what will probably introduce more new unique things, and I think that that's one thing that the the Archfiends. I'm talking about the chess ones, not Archfiend Emperors. We're talking about the bishop,
The
the
vile
vile
pawn.
pawn, like yeah, like the chess. And I think the artwork is kind of cool. Although Vile Spawn looks like he's a little outdated, but Dark Bishop still looks pretty cool.
The queen definitely looks cool too.
No, wait, I'm talking about wait.
Stupid Des Rook. Look at Des Rook. He literally just like.
Oh, hold on. I need to. I typed in Archfiend and there's like so many cards. Okay, which one? There's a queen.
Yeah, look,
Is it just Archfiend Queen?
No, it's Infernal
What's her
Queen.
name? Oh, Infernal Queen. She doesn't even look that hot though. She looks kind of like a bootleg harpy. That's like.
Yeah, you're right.
Dead.
Look at Des Rook though.
Yeah, I'm not dumb. Des Rook? Is it Archfiend Des Rook?
It's Des Rook Archfiend.
Oh, Des Rook?
Yeah, DES.
What about him?
He looks so weird compared to the other ones.
Oh, yeah, this is actually a monster that they stole from Devil May Cry. But no, that's okay. That's a topic from another day. Even though this game probably came out before Devil May Cry, they still took it from Devil May Cry. But
there's not much I have to say.
I think no. They really should have made this archetype the way it attacks like would be.
You have to remember
chess.
this was so early in like Yu-Gi-Oh's creation history that it just hasn't been revisited.
Oh come on, there's Parasite. There's some crazy stuff in the
Oh
game
no,
before.
you're right.
Heck, in the anime, yeah, like Parasite. That card is like ancient old. So I feel like they could have done it. I mean, I think the problem is that they might have felt like it made the game too complex. But nowadays with Link Summon, you guys know the game is pretty complex right now.
It's definitely interesting. But guys, if you made it through this video and didn't watch part 1, there will be a link down below. I don't know why I'm telling you this. You know, obviously, thanks for being here with me, Sladra. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed our input on this.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Also, if we missed out on anything, guys, comment down below what archetype you think needs support, because we would love to hear your guys' feedback.
Oh yeah, we spent 30 minutes before this video looking through the archetypes, and we're definitely sure we missed some. I'm not gonna like lie to you guys.
I mean, heck, we found out one in the video.
We found out
the
Ryugashay,
Ryugashay.
and then I literally, after we filmed his part, I found Vile Pawn and company. So definitely a lot. So guys, remember, please subscribe to both of us. Leave a comment down below. Tell us if we missed anything. We always want to hear your opinions. And until next time, guys, peace. That's not all, folks. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please check out my Cardfight Vanguard channel, VanCole40. You guys will get an insight on our playtesting sessions. And please check out the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. That way you guys can follow the House of Champions and MCole40 interactions. Please check out MCole Games for all of your guys' trading card game needs. And if you guys enjoyed this content, please check out my Patreon in the description. Every bit helps to the creation of these videos. One step at a time in improvement, and that's the goal of this channel. Alright guys, have a good time, and thanks for watching.